Yo, what's poppin'? So, you know what? I want to talk about something, and I'll be brief, but from day one, this was the first thing that crossed my mind when I anonymously received this letter right here in my inbox on one of my social media accounts. Now, I'm gonna let this play, and then I'm gonna circle the block and explain what I mean by what I'm about to say.
To proceed with the letter from Miss Michelle Rodriguez. I will not be running this election. I strongly support Olympia Strickland for vice president. Olympia represents the leadership our union needs, credible, principled, knowledgeable, and committed to the members. The union belongs to its members. No one is above federal union law. This re-election proves that our rights matter and that accountability is possible when we stand firm. Please share this information, participate, vote, stand up against corruption. Justice for Montefiore. And like I always say, transparency forces accountability. And we back again. So, here, what I'm presenting to you, and you can see the actual case number at the upper right, and you can see the heading, U.S. Department of Labor, Office of Labor Management Standards, New York District. Dated December 22nd, 2025. Now let's see. This letter seems to have been...
All right, I'm gonna stop that there. I'm not gonna drag it all out, because anybody that's been keeping up the content, you've seen this letter a million times, 1,000,001 now, but you know that it is straight from the National Labor Relations Board. See the seal, federal document, which confirms one thing that I've been saying, that I keep saying to all of you. So one thing they can never say, they can say everything about me, but they can never say that I'm a liar. So when this was first brought to my attention, the first thing that crossed my mind was, well, if there was fraud found by the feds, by the National Labor Relations Board, did their own investigation and found there was ballot tampering, and that PP Lee was actually sending out ballots to another address. They were having ballot parties and everything, but there were several proven instances of fraud being committed against the 1199 union members. Now, I want to play the timeline for you again as I'm about to say what I'm about to say. Remember, a month before the election, Politico and Maya Kaufman ran a story that was, and I have to again say allegedly, paid for by whom? I'll tell you by whom. By Veronica Turner Biggs and Yvonne Armstrong. And just as I showed you where they were backing candidates during the election, and then during the re-election, they did the same thing again, even though they were already warned by the feds not to do it. But again, this is my question. If we know for a fact that there was fraud in the last election, when you add to the fact that one, the fraud's already been proven, and then two, they hired a journalist and Politico to run a story that they knew was fraudulent because all the information was provided by them. They were the sources, and I've shown you the receipts to prove everything was a lie. And just as Mrs. Stop Using My Voice said, the executive board voted on everything. That's why she mad and she ran up on me talking about some, that's why you lost your job and they fired your ass.
I hope you got enough content.
Huh?
I hope you got enough content.
Enough footage?
I hope you got enough footage.
Yeah.
Stop posting my voice, okay? Stop posting my voice.
Excuse me?
Yeah, stop posting my voice.
Well, you know what? You get a lawyer and make me and have a nice
Stop
day.
posting, that's why they fired your ass.
If you have
No, they fired me because y'all wasn't doing your job. I got something to do. I'm going to take y'all down. Have a wonderful day, sweetheart. Why? Because that proves that, one, they all knew what was going on, and because I was kicking the base of the tree and ruffling feathers and knocking leaves loose, they had to try to shut me up. But back on track. If that happened to someone at a VP position, then how come at no point did anyone ask if there was fraud in the Farrah-Hargett election? There had to have by default been fraud committed during Mr. Gresham's election run anyways, but for some reason that conversation hasn't entered the chat yet. So I'd like to put that on the table, and I want to know. No one else finds this odd? I mean, I know in all my clapped out dope fiend nights, for some reason I can't stop thinking about it. Yeah. That's something to ponder. That really is something to ponder. There's a few other things I've been pondering too, but we'll circle and spin that block another day.